mynews.studio.
A treaty to protect half the world's oceans has just come into effect. Will it actually change the fate of our seas?
Today's date is February 21st, 2026. After years of negotiation, the High Seas Treaty is now active, covering international waters that make up nearly half of Earth's surface. So far, 82 countries have ratified it. But what does this really mean for our oceans and for us?
The treaty's full name is the Agreement on the Conservation and Sustainable Use of Marine Biological Diversity of Areas Beyond National Jurisdiction, BBNJ for short. It's the first global legal framework to protect biodiversity out on the high seas. Until now, these waters were mostly unregulated. Why did it take so long to reach this point?
Part of the reason is that the high seas are a shared space. No single country owns them. That's made it hard to coordinate protection. But with this treaty, nations can now propose marine protected areas, or MPAs, in international waters. The aim is to protect 30% of the ocean by 2030. Do we have a sense of how these MPAs will actually be established?
It starts with countries nominating sites, usually based on their ecological value. These proposals go to the UN Preparatory Commission and then need formal approval at the first Conference of Parties, COP1, which is expected by year's end. Early candidates are places like the subatlantic high seas and the thermal dome, both known for unique biodiversity. But it's not just about drawing boundaries. Now, all activities in these areas require environmental impact assessments.
So if, say, a country wants to start mining the seabed or expand fishing there, they have to announce those plans publicly and submit them for review. That rule applies right away. But how is this information actually shared?
That's where the clearinghouse mechanism comes in. It's an online platform where countries have to post environmental impact assessments, proposed MPAs, and compliance data. The goal is to make ocean governance more transparent. Still, does transparency really ensure the rules are followed?
That's a real concern. The treaty's enforcement systems aren't fully in place yet. The permanent secretariat and compliance bodies are still being set up. For now, the UN Division for Ocean Affairs and Law of the Sea is providing interim support. Real enforcement, things like monitoring and penalties, will come only after COP1, once those details are finalized. Isn't there a risk that countries could take advantage of the gaps until then?
Yes, there's definitely a risk, not just in enforcement, but in funding as well. Geopolitical tensions could slow things down. The treaty does require countries to help developing nations with technology and financial support. That's supposed to make participation fairer. But whether that support actually happens is still an open question.
And why does this matter at all? The high seas are crucial for regulating climate, absorbing heat and carbon, and supporting marine life that billions depend on for food. Nearly half the planet has, until now, operated without strong legal protections. The consequences touch biodiversity loss, food security, and climate resilience.
If successful, this treaty could transform how global resources are managed. But so much depends on follow-through, on whether nations actually comply, how open the process stays, and how quickly new institutions get up and running. Is this the start of a new era in ocean governance, or just a symbolic step?
That's the central issue. The treaty shows rare international agreement where national and global interests overlap, but the true impact will depend on political will, public scrutiny, and whether industries adapt to these new rules. The next year, particularly what happens at COP1, will be telling.
In summary, the High Seas Treaty is now active. Governments must assess and disclose activities in international waters. More protections are coming, but enforcement and transparency systems are still being built. The world has agreed on a new ocean framework, but the real challenge is making it work.
Thanks for tuning in. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. You can try it now for free.